We've all seen the stories about Rikers Island, violence against inmates and correction officers, and corruption concerns. The mayor has pledged to close it within 10 years. But what you haven't seen is the groundbreaking new movement to transform troubled lives. Rows on rows of razor barbed wire around the GMDC building on Rikers Island say jail, bigger than any sign. Inside, a gated checkpoint secures the lockdown area. Hi, officers, is it okay if I go through here? We get an exclusive look inside the jail that's temporary home to about 400 18 to 21-year-old men. They've all been arrested, but the vast majority have not yet had their day in court.
Hold up, Griswold, don't come out.
For some detainees, time served on Rikers is their initiation into the prison pipeline. For a growing number of others, though, it's a wake-up call before it's too late.
I went from a negative mindset to a positive mindset. Like, I went from me thinking the world is against me to now I want to be part of the world. So I think that's a step forward.
It gave me an opportunity to find myself. Growth as an actor and growth as a human being is synonymous.
Inside this high-security facility over the last 2 years, the Department of Correction has been arming inmates with a variety of career skills so they won't succumb to the negative influence of the streets once they get out. So far, about 1,500 former inmates left Rikers with job training. Deputy Commissioner Wynette Jackson tells me it's an urgent priority.
A large part of our job, our mission, is to really help correct and rehabilitate the individuals who are in the custody of the department.
So, Officer Goodlow, where are we going to be going now? Where are you taking us?
Well, now we're going to go to the Peace Center. The Peace Center is where they have a lot of the classes that take place. So the guys will be there.
It's a different world inside the Peace Center classrooms. These inmates are learning the basics of carpentry and getting OSHA certifications. They'll be job ready in background-friendly construction fields when they get out.
As we see, we're in a carpentry shop. This, for some of these young men, is the first time that they produce something positive in their life.
Our participants are one step closer to securing employment versus someone on the outside who doesn't have a certification.
The special programming also includes digital literacy classes, culinary training, and the basics of car mechanics, taught by a former car repair shop manager who's now a correction officer.
Majority of them, sadly, they've been told they can't do nothing much. They're nothing. But here, I give them the confidence that they are able to learn.
While the push is on for more programming here at Rikers Island, the reality is that security remains a top priority. That means safety for the inmates and for the correction officers. From 2015 to 2016, violent incidents involving 18 to 21-year-old males dropped a whopping 58%. That coincides with the implementation of the new training programs.
The data shows us that approximately 80% of the individuals in our custody will be home within a year. And if we don't try to provide skills and services that assist individuals with the reasons why they came here to begin with, then we're looking at a larger problem for our community.
Keep in mind that 80% of the inmates here have been accused of crimes but not convicted. There's many layers to this. Let's find out what our panel and the inmates themselves have to say. I'm so glad you're joining us for this special episode of Street Soldiers right from the Peace Center at GMDC inside Rikers Island. For the first time ever, we are bringing together every aspect of the community affected by what is going on here and what is going on in our streets. The inmates themselves, the Department of Correction officers and staff, educators, service providers, re-entry experts, counselors of all kinds, to discuss what it really takes to break this cycle of violence and turn around lives, troubled lives, and moving beyond mistakes. So let me introduce the panel that we have for you right now. Joining us is the Department of Correction Deputy Commissioner Wynette Jackson. She works with the Youthful Offender Program. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. Also with us is Deputy Warden Freeman Williams. He is the Deputy Warden here at the GMDC. Thank you so much for being with us. Also with us is Leviticus Mitchell. He's an ex-inmate who's turned his life around with the help of the Fortune Society and is now trying to help motivate other young men to do the same. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. And also with us, you know this guy, but I'm going to give you the official introduction anyway. International hip-hop superstar, the one and only Fat Joe, and also a strong advocate in the community for many years throughout his entire career. Great to have you. Joe, I want to start with you. With everything you have going on in your career right now, why did you want to take the time to come out here to Rikers?
Well, I came out here because a lot of my friends have been locked up in Rikers. I've heard a lot of horror stories about Rikers Island. And when you said you had an opportunity, I know how positive Street Soldiers is for us to be in front of the inmates and be with the corrections department and everybody and get down to the root of some questions we have where I'm looking for is authenticity and true honest. You know, I want to know, like, what's really going on, because jail to me is a world that goes parallel to regular people's worlds. And if your family members aren't incarcerated, then you really don't care about it while you're in the gym on in the treadmill or whatever. So certain things could be going on that people overlook. So when you told me we're gonna come over here and get informed and learn about the realities of what's going on at Rikers Island, I couldn't miss it. So I'm glad, you know, I'm happy to be here.
And we're glad to have you here. Deputy Commissioner Jackson, we spent a lot of time together over the last couple of weeks looking at the different types of programs. Why are you so committed to making this so much more than what people typically think of as a jail or the Rikers from the past?
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. First things first, young people are our future. We have to invest in our young people. The programming that we are really focused on at this juncture is youth-centric programming to really address the needs of young people while they're facing these challenging situations. In addition to that, we are trying to provide the resources and support to assist them with transitioning successfully back into the community.
All right, Leviticus Mitchell, you were on Rikers Island here. You managed to turn your life around. What were some of the things, the kind of pressures that you were facing?
Well, like most young individuals sitting in these seats, I faced a lot of different challenges which I had to overcome. What mainly got me on the road and got me on the path was re-entry services. Deep down inside of me, I knew I wanted to do better. I just didn't know where to go or how to go about it. But
and you got the help, and you definitely did. Deputy Warden Freeman Williams, when we were doing our research on the programs here over the recent weeks here on Rikers Island, you were walking around, taking us around through the corridors into the different programs, talking with some of the inmates yourself, and they felt comfortable talking to you, which was something I said, wait a minute, this is not what people think goes on here. What are some of the reasons that you think you've been able to make an impact in people's lives?
First of all, most of the young adults that come into the system, they already have the gift, talents, and abilities to succeed. You just have to enhance on them. So what it does is you have to take the time and collaboratively, we have to work together to speak to them and figure out what their triggers are that they actually like to do. What I have a gift of is I know how to talk to people. And usually when a person is going off on a tangent, I know how to bring them down, get to the root of what's going on with them, and also get them into these programs that have been implemented throughout the department. It's historical, because years ago we never had this. So when you get these guys in these classes, you actually see the gift, talents, abilities that they have. So you turn a negative into a positive, so where we can have them re-enter society and uplift with some hard learning skills of these traits that we have here. This actually helps them a lot. It also helps their family and actually lessens their recidivism from coming back to jail. So it makes us safer and also makes them safer.
Who wants to talk to me?
My name is Eric.
Let's talk to some of the inmates here and see what they have to say. Who wants to talk to me? Got a question or comment? All right, what's your first name?
My name is Eric.
Okay.
Well, I would like to, like further on what Fat Joe was saying. When I came to Rikers Island a long time ago, I had the same that like this was a place that I didn't want to be. Unfortunately, I have got certain things that I would have never accomplished on the outside at my own times and here. Also, I'm in a success house. That's a house where, for me, we go to school every day, we do programs. For me, we all there to better ourselves. If one is down, we pick them up. Our motto is no man left behind. So that means if I'm on the right path, I would like for all my peers to stay on the right path. So it's not like Rikers Island is only for the bad. You do have some good people here that will help, from inmates to staff to councils. So, like, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing that you hear, period.
Deputy Warden Williams, one of the aspects of these new programs that we've seen has been this whole issue of reducing idle time.
Yes.
And also increasing programming. Why is that so important in a jail facility like this?
It's very important because when you decrease idle time, you don't give the young adult population any thought process into doing anything negative. So you have them go to recreation, you have them with tablets, you have them, like Deputy Commissioner Wynette spoke about, we have them come to classes and various workforce classes where they get digital literacy, carpentry, they're getting life skills. So when you have them in these classes all day, and then at 8 o'clock they go back to the house, the only thing they want to do is call home, tell their family they love them, take a shower, and get back up tomorrow and do the same thing because they're looking towards their future instead of their past.
One time I had a friend, we put him in a fat farm, right? And so we put him in a fat farm, where it's almost like jail, and they taught him how to eat, and they gave him everything to eat, and he lost a lot of weight. We went to pick him up, and we was driving back home, and I noticed that everywhere we drove, he was looking at McDonald's, he was looking at KFC, he was looking at everything. Yo, KFC, yo, yo, yo. But he lost all this weight, but it wasn't really reality because he wasn't setting a real environment. So what are the things we are doing for these inmates if we're teaching them different various courses or whatever, that when they get out into the street, they're not tempted to do the negative things and use the tools and everything they're learning in here? Because it seems like before my time, there was always stories of guys saying, I want to do better, I get out of jail, I went to 34 fruit stands, I went everywhere, and I just can't get a job. So what could we do to turn this program that we're talking about into reality in the streets when somebody goes home?
Coming to Rikers really like opened doors for me because like before I came here, like I had this mindset like that, like this mindset like of a kid, like I didn't want to hear nothing from nobody. But coming here, like it really opened a lot of doors for me. I learned a lot of certificates in here, like electricity, carpentry. For me, right now, currently I'm in the dope program right now, like trying to turn my life around. I'm currently in a GED program right now. For me, doing what I gotta do. So like when I get out there, like I don't gotta be back in the streets.
So you're telling me that actually being here, you were able to accomplish more than on the outside?
Yes, yes.
Joe, what do you think about that?
I'm having mixed emotions. I'm proud and I'm happy about this program. I'm happy they're helping this selected few inmates. But, you know, what the world is going to see, right? If everybody just says Rikers is the greatest place to go, let's go to college or whatever, what the world is going to be thinking is that the corrections department picked 12 guys that think that this is cool, and what about the other 2,000, 3,000 inmates who's over there who might have a different opinion? You know, so I'm just a independent voice, and I'm just thinking about the viewers who's watching. If everybody's gonna sing Kumbaya, they wanna know what's going on with the 2,000 guys, that maybe somebody's getting their face cut. Maybe somebody is getting abused in here. Maybe somebody's getting sexually abused.
Let's ask the warden about that. What do you say about what he's saying?
I understand what he's saying, and it makes sense, because the public will say you handpicked. This is not the perfect program. We're working towards it. We didn't have a role model. Like we started from scratch. These group of guys, unfortunately, we're going to lose these guys. We're going to start with a new bunch of guys. The summer's going to be very challenging for us because we get a whole new group of guys. These guys went to school, they passed their GEDs, these guys are going home, they're moving on. So it will be challenging for us, but we got to relate to those guys just like we related to these guys. The reality is that we can't reach everybody. We try to reach as many as possible, and the whole concept is, this guy's acting up, he's not good for this program, let's kick him out. No, we want to get this guy through the program. And we work together as a unit to get the guys through the program. Everybody's not as successful as the other, but if I just tweak something in your mind, like you might not have passed the program, but I changed your mindset. You want to do better. These are the elite guys. You're right, these are the elite guys. However, they're guys that we're still trying to work on. Like some guys are loyal to their gang. And because your leader told you that you can't participate, you won't participate. In your heart, you really want to. And that's the guy I want to reach, because the game's not loyal to you. You're not at the top of the food chain, you know, but it's a challenge. Success is a moving target. And, you know, I've been working here 32 years, 33 years in a couple of months, and I'm still not leaving because I think I got something to offer these young guys.
I believe it, and I know where you come from, and I've been preaching the same thing my whole life, because there's this mentality, and I'm talking about an overall prison system, is a mentality where it's the correction officers against the inmates, right? But when I turn around and I walk up in here, all I see is black and Latino officers, and I say, where's the compassion? These are your little brothers. These are guys that you should mentor and you should be cool with, not talk down upon them. You understand? So what I'm trying to get to, the root of the problem is, so I'm telling everybody I'm at a historic event, right? You can stop me if I'm over talking, but I'm going to a historic event, Rikers Island, never been done before. And as I'm talking in the dinner table, and I'm talking about white people, rich people, poor people, my cousins and everything, they saying, well, you know, Joe, sounds like a gimmick because they say they're going to close down Rikers Island. All of a sudden, they want to do a publicity thing.
No, but let me stop you there, my brother. Okay.
All right, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying what I'm not against nobody.
Listen.
I'm just saying what the people is thinking.
Of course people are thinking that, but that's why we're doing the show, because we want to show what's really going on. This isn't the totality of it, but this is the bright spot. People in the community are always saying to us, focus on the positive, to talk about what's positive. Yes, there's a lot of people in here, as the warden just said, that they don't want to hear nothing. They don't want to hear anything about changing their lives or turning their lives around, but you have to start somewhere, and all of this has only been in like less than the last 2 years.
I appreciate it.
No,
like if these kids are sincere and these kids are talking about they're going to change their life and you're going to spread the word and tell everybody, I appreciate that. That's what we want for everybody.
I know you've been patiently. You had a comment that you wanted to make.
Yeah,
Can you tell us your first name?
My name is Travis.
Travis, okay.
Yeah, like Fat Joe said, it's sometimes it's us against the COs, but it's not always like that. It's the COs, they help us out sometimes. If we need it, they give it to us. It's not like they against us all the time. But some COs, it's like they are against us, and some COs don't want to see us get out. But you feel me? It mind over matter inside here. That's how we gotta think all the time. You just gotta keep a positive mind. You gotta keep everything copacetic.
Okay, what's your first name?
Joshua.
Okay, Joshua, what's your comment real quick?
Rikers Island is not a place like where you want anybody to come, but like coming here helps you change who you are.
What are the things you see of all the successful people having?
Well, what you have to do is to realize that you're young. So you're better off than me, because I'm older than y'all. So I wish I was your age, because I do some spectacular things, man. So you have to know you got age on your side. The second part is that you have blueprints sent before you. Before there was no black president. Before there wasn't no Jay-Z who hustled and now is a billionaire. Before there wasn't no 50 Cent who used to rob people and now owns a $100 million company. There's no real excuses. This is something you got to put into your mind and say, listen, I'm very intelligent. I can do whatever I have to do. And when I get out of here, because in here, you know, you ever see guys in jail and they cock diesel, but when they get home, they get fat? It's the same thing with what's going on. You're being fed all these programs, and it seems all positive while you're doing your time and you're getting through. But once you go on the street, if you don't keep exercising these programs, you get fat, you get sloppy, and you slip up. So the point I'm making is jail's not cool for nobody, right? But you got to use this time in your life to look at it as a learning experience.
We want to thank the Department of Correction for enabling us to do this and have this open and honest dialogue. We want to thank all the inmates who agreed to participate and speak on camera. We wish you the best with everything that you're doing to try to turn your lives around. We want to thank all the service providers, all of the re-entry experts, all of these special programs that are here, making themselves available to help the inmates so that they never come back once they leave here. And I want to thank my whole crew here at Hot 97 and Fox 5 for supporting us and for helping us make this happen. Remember, use your mind, it's your best weapon. I hope it's your only weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace.